Often as we begin, like here and now, we pre-pave or get out ahead just a little bit by reminding you of some things that you already know, but we want to bring these things to the forefront of your consciousness. We want to remind you that you are source energy in physical bodies, and that you are creators, and that you came to this body, to this time, and to this place in order to do exactly that. And we want to remind you that you're always doing that. You're always creating. You're always causing an expansion, whether you know that you are or not. So this conversation, its best advantage to you is that it awakens within you here and now, that it reminds you that deliberate focus is what deliberate creation is, and that sloppy focus or knee-jerk reactions to things, that's what creating by default is. And most everybody you know is creating by default. They're just reacting. And what we mean by that is there's plenty going on around the world, around your life, that gets your attention. Esther was laughing and then not, and then laughing and then not, as she tried to find a place to plug her curling iron in. There were lots of places to plug things in, but they were weird kinds of things, not like her curling iron. And so she's thinking, now I've done this many times. I can do this. I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. But it got pretty funny. She moved almost every piece of furniture in her cabin in order to figure out how to plug it in. And then her extension cord was not long enough. So she had a choice to be in front of a mirror that was very well lighted with no curling iron, or to be in a very dark place with a curling iron and no mirror. Oh, she got very clever. She moved this table over there and dislodged a lamp from over there, and she managed it. But what usually takes 2 minutes to set up for took her an hour. So she was having some knee-jerk reactions, some reactions to the conditions, because it wasn't easy like she wants it to be. Well, isn't it kind of like that sometimes? Aren't you happy to know about yourself that you are adaptive, that you can make things happen anyway, that you can adjust to your environment, that you've had enough life experience? Are you at the place yet, or still? More likely yet. Are you at the place yet where you acknowledge unequivocally that well-being is the trend of your planet? Or are you knee-jerking with different things that you're hearing in different places about things that are happening in different pockets? In other words, how do you feel? What's your stability? Are you stable in your connection with source energy and in your absolute knowing that well-being does abound, and that you can adapt right into it, and that a creative life is one that is constantly moving forward and not clinging to what is? Or are you like most of the world that is freaking out when there is change, and therefore not in the receiving mode of ideas to help you to adapt? You are brilliant, genius creators that have come into an environment that is ever-changing, always has been, always will be. And you are right here and now experiencing more change, more opportunity to adjust and adapt and create and discover and feel triumphant. Esther's never been prouder of her hair. Not because it looks good, that's not what we mean, and it's not what she thinks, but she got it done. Now, that's not something that she's been all that excited about lately. So we're eager to talk with you about anything that matters to you. You'll notice that as we are moving along in these days that we're together, that while we will hear you in whatever point of view you are standing in, wherever it is you are in your life, we will hear you. But there is something else that we hear louder than your description of where you stand. And that is our description, our understanding of where the larger part of you stands in your vibrational reality. The launching of desires and the choosing of things, the intentionality that has been happening within you in very strong fashion. So there is a vibrational version of your life that is already vibrationally happening. It is. It's not future tense like you want to call it, because the money isn't in your bank yet, or whatever it is you're reaching for. But there is a vibrational reality that is substantial enough, significant enough, that we see it. So in every moment that we are visiting with you, as you are expressing where your perspective tells you that you are, we're going to be blending into that mix of conversation, both verbal and vibrational, our understanding of where you really stand. And so if you can relax and allow yourself to come along with what's really going on, with the big picture in your life experience, you can have some pretty big vibrational, mood shifting, emotional shifting adjustments that will put you in a receiving mode where things that are in your vortex where you think they aren't, because you can't see them or hear them or smell them or taste them or touch them, but they are there just the same. You can sense them, you can sense them, and we understand them fully. Those non-physical vibrational realities will transform into something that is noticeable by you and others around you. It's just the way creation works. Creation has always been about thoughts turning to things, but humans don't understand that because you're so busy looking at the things. And when you're just looking at the things and wanting the things to be different than they are, not taking into consideration that there are some thoughts moving into things, if you're just looking at what is, then things are always changing, but they're just changing to more of the same. But when you get to this place where you accept these premises, and this is what we want, this is what we're asking of you, accept that you are more than the physical you that you think you are, and accept that there is a non-physical you that is with you every step of the way, all day, all night, with you all the time, who really knows what's going on, who is often the reason for the impulses that you feel. So what we're really getting down to is, and that's what this gathering is mostly going to be about, is helping you to accept the reality of that vibrational version and to find ways through what we talk about here to make that vibrational version become the physical reality that you want to experience and enjoy. We want you to experience, to have the satisfaction of what you came into this life experience for. So we're going to be talking about you and your inner being, and we're going to be talking about you in relationship to whatever it is that's on your mind. But we're going to help you, by the end of this voyage, understand without question what calibrating to the whole of you is all about. What it's about, what it means, what it does, and how to do it. And once you get that under your belt, once you understand that instead of being like most people who are just calibrating to whatever's going on around them, in other words, Esther was not willing to accept that her stateroom would not allow her to do what she wanted to do in the way that she wanted to do it. So she vibed it out and managed to make it work for her. And it was mostly fun. So we have some multiple choice questions for you. Are you enjoying this voyage mostly? Do you find it more enjoyable than most normal days? What's up with that? So why do you think that is? Did you think quite a bit about this? Been thinking about it for quite a long time? Did you have some ups and downs about it? Did you manage the ups and downs and come to feeling pretty good about it? Can you feel that you focused this good time into being for you? Does it feel to you that it's just being presented to you, or do you feel like part of the collective consciousness that has brought this about in this way? And if you can do this under these conditions, you can do this to each and every day. What we're saying to you is every day should feel this good. Every day should be filled with new experiences that you have not experienced before, with really good insights, because that's what's lined up for you in your vortex. It's nice when something unfolds in a powerful way like this. We're not trying to talk you out of basking in extra awareness of something that's extra delicious. But your peaks should not be so far apart. They should happen in the middle of every conversation. There should be insights that give you shivers that come from everyone that you engage with. That feeling of being proud of yourself or proud of others. There's potential for that all day long. Don't hang out in reservoirs of depletion and then revel when there's less depletion. Demand or expect or conjure or intend more for yourself. In the days that are following, we're eager to talk with you about whatever you want to talk about. We are not trying to talk you out of any conversation. In fact, the more nitty-gritty of your life you are willing to talk about, the more clarity will come in all of this. But what we are saying to you, and we think that right now you're on this precipice where you can hear it more clearly maybe than at any other time in your life. You're better at deliberate creation than you know. And you're willing to let yourself feel more negative emotions than your inner being would ever even consider. When you get your feelings hurt, that's just dumb. Don't get your feelings hurt. Don't let somebody hurt your feelings. Let your feelings be unhurtable. Be so clear about who you are that what anybody else thinks or what everybody else thinks does not hurt your feelings. Don't ask anybody to be a way that they may or may not be ready to be. That's what true freedom is. Freedom for what? Freedom to connect with your inner being. Freedom to feel good. Freedom to attract consciously. Freedom to be aware of the possible pleasure points in every conversation or every moment in time. Each thing you look at, or each thing you listen for, or each thing you feel for, each thing that any of your physical senses helps you define is ripe and rich and laden with textures and levels of pleasure points for you, of satisfaction points for you. And dear hearts, you've trained yourself. It's like you've got super glue on your fingers so you really don't feel, and a coating on your tongue so you really don't taste. There's so much more that your inner being knows you are capable of. So don't be afraid to mix it up, and don't be afraid to have some negative emotion, and don't be afraid to say what you mean, and don't be so determined that you're going to be a positive creator. You know, you create your own reality. Don't be so sure that you're going to do that and do it just right that you've got happy face stickers stuck all over everything, and you stop using your guidance system in a way that you don't really know where you're trending.